Well, we are back in the room. Welcome to Rix Room this evening. I'm your host, Mr. Rick. I got my co-host with me. Y'all might have remembered from last week. Miss Wanda B is hanging out with me in the room again this evening.
Hello, Rick. Mom, let him have company for a second, babe.
I got company again, and Miss Wanda B is hanging out. Well, welcome back to Rix Room, everyone. I am. You can catch us live here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. here Central Standard Time at IntellectualRadio.com, an iHeartRadio station. Catch us live streaming on Facebook and YouTube, and you can even listen live if you happen to be driving. And we know texting and driving is not a thing, so you can listen live on Spreaker. And if you happen to miss the show, you can always check it out on on iHeartRadio.com under the podcast section, Intellectual Radio Talk. You can catch all of actually the Intellectual Radio hosts and all of the shows that they have going on there. So check it out if you happen to miss it at iHeartRadio. But I don't know why you wouldn't have iHeartRadio, right? Like iHeartRadio is like, I used to live in New Jersey and in New York, and if I need to hear some New Jersey and New York radio, I can use iHeartRadio for it. So make sure if you don't have it there on Facebook or on YouTube, download iHeartRadio and check out all of the hosts from IntellectualRadio.com and their shows.
We'd appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can catch Miss Wanda B every Sunday from 2 to 4 with He Said, She Said, hosting that show with always some great topics, some great things going on. And you got an event going on tonight, don't you?
I sure do. Room 183, 4167 183rd Street. Right after this, I'm zooming over there, and we're going to be talking about polyamory.
What is that?
You have to come out.
Okay, yeah, I might have to check it out.
Well, I'll start a whole show on that, so I'm not even going to go with what that is right now, because that will take us off topic, and we're going to stay on topic today.
Well, we'll get to that event one of these days, because it sounds like it's a great time. But we do appreciate you tuning in here. It is Wednesday. Make sure you got your adult beverage. You know how we do in the room. It is that time to have a conversation about some things. Tonight, we're going to continue our discussion from last week, because it got good. We were talking about relationships after cheating. Relationships after cheating was the topic of the show last week, and we definitely encourage you to call in and participate in the conversation. Miss Wanda B will be checking out the comments there. I got them up here too as well. If you want to stream live, or comment on the live stream, we'll be taking a look at that and reading off your comments and trying to answer some of your questions or comments that you have there. In addition to, we'll be taking your calls. We'll be taking your calls at 708-223-8953. Listen, it's Wednesday night. You know, merry belated Christmas to some of y'all, if y'all are out there. If you're celebrating anything else, we missed Hanukkah, so Hanukkah's over. But
Kwanzaa.
But we started Kwanzaa yesterday. So happy Kwanzaa. Yesterday was Umoji. Today is the one that I cannot pronounce. That one, right, that one there. But if you are celebrating Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa to you. We are on day 2 of Kwanzaa. We got, is it 7 principles, right? 7 principles?
7 principles.
7 principles. So we might cover a couple of those principles. If you are in the Midwest or the Chicagoland area, listen, get inside, get you an adult beverage, hang out in the room with us, because it's cold outside.
It's cold. Maybe it'll warm you up today.
Maybe it'll warm you up, but it's cold outside in Chicago.
It's Chicago, though. It's supposed to be cold, right?
No, it's not supposed to be. Well, all right. So here's the thing. For those of you that live in the Midwest or are from Chicago, you know how we get down in Chicago. We get, the temperature gauge reads -1. What is it? The wind chill factor, right? So the wind chill factor comes in, and we're at like -500. Yo,
no joke.
I mean, seriously, I walk into work today, and listen, shout out to all the folks and friends of mine who ride the Metro UP West line. It was running behind today, so some of us were running a little late. We had to stand out there in the cold. They had us on one side of the platform talking about it was picking us up over there. The train came. We were like, no, it's on the other side, so we had to dart over to the other side of the platform before the train got there. It was a mess. It was a mess, all because it's brutally cold outside. If you don't have to go to work, you don't have to go to the office when it's this cold outside, stay home. and get yourself ready and prepared for Rix Room on Wednesday night. Again, if you want to participate in the conversation, we got your live stream comments there in front of us as well. You can call in and chat with us, 708-223-8953. We'd love to hear from you as we talk about tonight relationships, or continue the conversation, relationships after cheating. So you might remember last week, we had a viewer, a listener who who wrote in and talked about a situation that they were dealing with where they caught their spouse cheating, and they decided to go out and do a little cheating of their own. And from there became some concern or some voiced opinions about what should be done. And we got involved in, some conversations about what cheating looks like and things of the sort. If you missed last week's episode, you can check it out on Rix Room there on Facebook. You can also check it out again at iHeartRadio.com. And at IntellectualRadio.com. Check out the conversation from last week. We're going to catch up. We ended with a good friend of mine, Eric, calling in about his relationship that he had, and hopefully we'll get a chance to touch base with him again. But another letter.
Here we go. Your letters are juicy.
Right, we got another letter in as well, so I'm going to put this over here. So
he has to make room for this letter. Because get ready.
This letter was kind of good, and listen.
I'm listening.
So not only did I get a letter in, but I got some people at work that were talking about it. They were sharing some experiences and some of the things that were taking place in the past. So it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that we had an opportunity to intrigue some of you all with it. But we definitely want to continue on with the conversation. So the letter said that 2 weeks ago, my husband confessed to me that he had been unfaithful. He said that it was a one-time situation. I love him so much, but I'm fearful that I'm not doing the right thing by staying. He says it's the last time, but I've been feeling that this is okay, his behavior. So the reason I brought that up was because, here's the thing. We talked about what constitutes cheating. We talked about why people cheat, right? And then we were kind of going to get into, or where I wanted to get into, was why cheating is seemingly the most popular reason for ending a relationship. I think we kind of touched on that, right?
I think we did.
The people stay for, and they'll try to fight through or work through alcoholism. They'll work through drug addictions and whatnot. But for cheating, it's like, I'm done. I got to go.
It's over.
Right. When you have relationships that do tend to go past cheating, you tackle the fact that there has been some infidelity, that has been something that somebody stepped out. You're working past that. What does it look like when the person, your spouse, has cheated, and you decided that maybe we can work through this? And I think you had some example of that too as well.
I often wonder, though. I think the hardest part of what I see a lot of people have challenges with is the forgiving part, and not constantly bringing up the situation and having it being thrown. The person never feels like they're forgiven, even though the person says they forgive you. And so I hear that often, the story that he or she keeps bringing it up every time, or the trust. How do you gain trust again? What do you do every time that person goes out the door? What are you doing? What are we doing? Mm-hmm. The question. And I think that is a challenge, a true challenge to how do you move past it? Right.
And so I guess for me, if in the event you have a genuine bond with someone, you decide that, this is something I'm going to continue to work through, or we're going to continue to work through. Steps that you take to work through those things. What are some of the actions, I guess, that help get through what those relationships look like after cheating?
I think you have to do just trust, starting with trust, being very transparent. Unfortunately, I think, or fortunately, I don't know which it is, the cheater has to start out being very transparent, because they probably lived a lot of lies and doing very secretive. Mm-hmm. And so now that's a trigger for someone now to watch you. We're trying to heal, but now I have triggers when I see you do things that you used to do when you were cheating. So now being mindful that you up some of your privacy in order to build trust again, you have to be very transparent for a while till they feel comfortable and feeling like I said, I'm sorry, so it's over. Let's leave it behind. And it's not going to be that easy for the other person to just, the person wants you to forget it and move on. And usually you're going to have to do some work. It's going to take some work. And a lot of people say relationships take work. They should take work if everything's right, but to heal takes some work. And I think to build trust again will take transparency first off.
Well, listen, so New Year's Eve is coming up. Right, New Year's Eve is coming up. So that means that there's some parties going on. There's some good times about to happen. You know, it's going to be a lot of kicking it, right? So if in the event y'all got some things going on for New Year's Eve, I just want to make sure that I caution you. Be careful, because what you think you might be getting away with, you might not really be getting away with. Somebody might know you stepping out. They might know you might be out there trying to creep, or you got another text coming in.
I don't think you're doing fair cheating if you're out there doing things that could get you caught.
What do you mean fair cheating? What does that mean?
There's such thing as fair cheating. I do not want inbox, so I'm not going to say that. But I think that if you are going to do things to hurt the one you love, be so blatant with it, that's going to really sound badly. It's going to sound bad. So never mind. I'm going to leave that in my head. That's a thought that maybe should come out.
Nope, I love it. Don't be so blatant. If you're going to be out cheating,
find you a dark corner. Hide. You can't celebrate New Year's Eve like everybody else. You can't be in the club and, hey, I'm with her. No, you better go in the dark. Where's the darkest? We're going to be in the corner. Unfortunately, you don't get the luxury of partying like everybody else.
If you're going to be out there.
If you're going to be out, be discreet.
If me, at least, because I was one of those ones, and I don't put this out there about me and my past relationships, all right? So I was always one, and things happen. You might find yourself in a situation, and it's another mindset we might talk about a little later, but you might find yourself in a situation where things might happen. Things could happen. Things could potentially jump off, right? You know about it. Don't let me find out.
That's what I mean.
Don't let me find out. Because you're right. Blatant cheating is like so disrespectful, which I'm not condoning.
And I think that's why some people leave, because it feels so disrespectful. Other things you can forgive but this thing sometimes can be very disrespectful, and people don't heal quickly from disrespect. So
let me put this out there. These views that we share are not necessarily the views of IntellectualRadio.com or iHeartRadio or Facebook, Spreaker, or YouTube.
Any of those ways you can listen to Rix Room and He Said, She Said on IntellectualRadio.com. Not the views of it. Our super producer, Earl Winfrey, is not his either. These are solely Wanda B and Rix.
And just, kind of throwing some thoughts out there about what, might happen. But again, I just want to put it out there. If in the event you are stepping out on New Year's Eve, let me first give a shout out to the producer of Rix Room, Mr. Al Young, making people look good and making sure that our show is sounding good for you. If you have New Year's Eve plans and you want to step out and look good, he's doing a family and friends discount to get your hairstyle. He actually made sure I had to swing by and check him out before I got here. We're doing a new look here.
I see.
You like the new look?
I like the new look. I have to go to Al. I need a new look.
He keeps me looking good. Keeps me looking fresh. Jealous. If in the event you need to get some solid, check him out. Give him a call at 773-220-9869.
9869. I got it.
You can email Mr. Al Young at alyoung, III, numeral 3 for those of y'all that don't know.
Why does he act like we don't know Roman?
Because some people don't know Roman.
I, capital.
Al tells me that all the time. He's like, Al Young, I. Like, they don't know Roman numerals? But they don't. So, Al Young, I at me.com. Check him out. Give him a call. Get your New Year's Eve style and a consultation by him, as well as Miss BL, Brand L, is offering a $65 flat rate for professional makeup services. Make sure that you give Brand L, Brandy, a call. Up and ready to go and doing bookings for New Year's Eve. So you give her a call, get your booking, an appointment for New Year's Eve at 872-216-9454. She'll be getting you hooked up and ready to go for your New Year's Eve party and celebration. So if you happen to be stepping out and cheating on your significant other,
no, Wait.
Okay, don't do that. But I'm just saying, make sure you look good when you do. Contact BL at 872-216-9454. BL, Be Feminine, Improve the Space. So we got a couple of people that have logged on to Facebook. I don't know if we got some enjoying the show. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. A couple of people are joining the show. Oh, Integrity from Shelby Thomas, one of our sponsors with Mom Online. We'll cover that in just a second. But Mr. Shelby Thomas says, integrity, being truthful to self. Honesty, being truthful to others.
Honesty first is the first one that they suggest when you're trying to heal after cheating is honesty. After infidelity, honesty, and then bearing witness. Now, what does that mean? Just must be prepared to face the heartache that their infidelity has wrought. Ooh, accountability. I guess.
That sounds what that
accountability.
Oh, well. But that's, I mean, you're right. That's exactly what that is. I mean, if you want to move past and continue progressing in that relationship, that's the two things that you really have to face, right? You have to be honest, and ensuring that you and your partner are going to continue to focus on being honest, right? Ability. So that brings up a conversation that one of my colleagues had at work. She said that she had a friend who her significant other, her spouse, was caught cheating, or told her that he had cheated, one of the two. But after he apologized and they agreed to move past it, bringing it up and throwing it in his face. So when we talk about relationships after cheating, because this is what this is. How are you gonna bring it up and throw it in your partner's face if you've decided to move past, and work through that maybe one-time thing? Like, what is that, y'all? Let me know how you feel about how, if in the event that needs to be how do you do that? How do you continue to work through that?
It takes, I think we touched on this very briefly, is therapy. Sometimes it's not just the infidelity. Both people, I know I mentioned honesty on one, as if the cheater has to start being honest, but sometimes the other person needs to be themselves. And I think we had a caller last week who was really good at explaining how she understood her role in what was happening, because sometimes when someone steps out in the relationship, it's because they're not happy, and sometimes what they're not happy with is you.
Right.
So
that could be honesty
in their relationship, and sometimes you have to take ownership for the relationship, not necessarily taking blame for them cheating, because that's a personal decision for someone, but to take that there's a reason for it. And that caller last week was excellent with how she did it. It's important is not throwing it in their face. And so if you're going to do that, let the person go, because you're just going to torture them and they'll be cheating again.
If you keep throwing it in their face, what's going to happen?
Only if you keep throwing it in their face. No one likes that. And it does feel like they deserve it. I know the person on the other end probably feels like they deserve this. They earned this. But if you say you're going to forgive, you're going to have to actually work on forgiveness.
Forgiveness. We'll come back to that. We'll circle back around to what forgiveness actually looks like, because I think some people out there have a skewed sense of what that forgiveness actually should entail, or what that actually should look like. But so when we talk about the fact that, you decided, you as a person, and listen, if y'all have some experiences to share, please, by all means, feel free, comment here on Facebook, go ahead and give us a call and join the conversation. 708-223-8953. Let us know if you had an experience where you found your significant other cheating, and you decided to work through it. And again, if in the event that seems to come up in your relationship consistently in your conversations, if you feel like your partner, if you were the one that cheated and your partner is throwing it in your face consistently about that situation, 708-223-8953 here on Facebook Live. We'd love to hear your opinion, share your story, and kind of talk to you about it as well.
They often say that forgiveness isn't for the other person, it's for yourself. Like, once you forgive, you'll feel better.
I have heard that.
In that concept?
I've heard that before. I think that for me, I guess we can talk about forgiveness. If in the event I'm going to forgive you for anything, but specifically we'll talk about cheating. If I'm going to forgive you for that, then it doesn't necessarily need to be a conversation of breaking down. It shouldn't be a conversation that's going to put me in a position of feeling inadequate or inferior or like I'm subpar in this relationship. You know, forgiveness should be for me. I'm not going to display that, but in sure that we're progressing. Right. That's what forgiveness should be.
Forgiving, you are accepting the reality of what happened and finding a way to live in a state of resolution with it. And that's what I think. Forgiveness should be, we find out where do we go from here. A lot of times we want to place blame and why did you do that? But honestly, where do we go? How do we want our relationship to be?
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times people shy away from the work. It seems almost impossible. So that's why they break up, because they think, how do we fix it, and don't know how to fix it. And so forgiving is going to take saying, I relationship, I see it working, and we are going to build from this spot. Almost not let go of the past, but to resolve it. It is what it is, and
keep
build.
Forward, right, and continue to progress. Right. So that's the reason, Wanda, this became something that I wanted to kind of take a look at and maybe have a conversation with you all. Though I forgot to do this. Hey, Facebook, what's going on, y'all? What's up?
Your opinions, we'd love to hear them.
I see you streaming. We're watching you. So go ahead and keep on in the conversation with us. But that's the reason I wanted to talk about this, Wanda, because for me, I think, and maybe you have a different perspective or the same, but I think relationships have taken a different. All right. So, and we kind of touched on it last week. We have relationships that of old that people have engaged in and worked through situations like this because those relationships that they felt that were valuable. They felt like it was a connection, a companionship, or maybe that was just, something that they felt like they had to do, but they did it. They made it work. Right. Relationships nowadays, I think, are different. There's not the same viewpoint of what a relationship means, how effective it should be for both parties that are involved. Right. And the impact that the decisions, yes, that you make in the relationship, but in addition to how impactful that relationship is for other individuals who are watching. For example, power couples. Right. You got, everybody has maybe a definition of what these power couples look like. Right. But you have power couples out there. These are the couples that everybody kind of looks at. It's like, that's how I wish our relationship is. Or, they're kind of setting the standard for what a relationship should be. And I guess when I look at that and where relationships have progressed to or evolved to, have we lost what that is? Do we not want those couples anymore, or are we afraid to kind of peel back the onion and see that maybe those couples have some issues of their own, like infidelity?
Times, especially with social media, you only see the good times. And I was married 20 years, divorced now. But in that time afterwards, I did a lot of soul searching and going out to couples who have been married 30 years or plus. And I said, I'm going to go talk to them and find out why. And almost every single one of them mentioned infidelity. I was shocked because when you see them, they're happy older couples, and they're finishing each other's sentences, and they're so loving. And every single one of them gave me some story and how they got past it. But so I think that was a testament that, and I mean every one of them, either the man had a wild time, the woman said, or honey, when he started, I was going, and I never tell him, but when it ended with him, I moved forward. And it was like, whoa, what are you telling me? Because these are like the wise ones. And so not sharing those stories, only talked to them prior, my life may have been different. If they had said, you'll get past that.
You can work through it.
You can work through it. And no one had ever told me that, especially the 30-year marriages. You just assume they don't talk about those things. And Facebook, everybody's happy and selfieing and with their booze. And they don't tell you the stories behind that. And then you aspire to have that relationship. Like, I want what they have. They're not telling you the whole story behind what they have.
Well, and you're right. Every couple had a story of infidelity. Wow. So I guess, well, that's another conversation. But let's check out some of the comments that we have here on Facebook.
It's so easy to go sway off course.
So Shelby commented again and said, well, why are the two in the relationship anyway? What's the expected reality? If you are just in it for temporary means, no meaningful emotional and spiritual investment, then why be upset when one steps out on the other?
Because we have this sense, don't we, of we want someone to be loyal and faithful, and we don't have those conversations prior. Like, what does that look like for you? I don't think a lot of times we're getting into relationships fully discussing everything that could happen, should happen, what our expectations for each other. A lot of microwave relationships, or I have what I want and we're done. That's it. We're together. I'm married. Or I just want to be married and I don't want to know you or know more about you so we can stay together. Those conversations aren't had as much, I don't think, anymore.
I'm trying to be careful, y'all, just so y'all know. I normally try to participate in these conversations and comment in the midst of, but I got some instruction from the super producer, Mr. Earl, to make sure that I'm cognizant of it. So I'm trying my hardest, but he gives me this look like, hey, watch while Miss Wanda is talking. So yeah, I might not, but if it happens to come out, because I'm like, yes, you're right, but let me keep that under wraps.
You're doing so well, Rick. I'm impressed.
I'm trying to be honest. All right, I'm trying to be honest.
Full transparency here in Rix Room tonight.
But listen, we got a comment from Lola, actually. If you want to check out what Miss Lola wrote there as well. She said,
that's funny.
Go ahead.
Cheating is so played out. She said, that is so 1962.
She said, I'm tired of giving grown folks chances after chances, nonetheless. But listen, Dershawn actually commented, and I want to read Dershawn's comment because Dershawn is actually, we talked about this last week, Dershawn. It's rougher when a female cheats on a man because it kills a man's ego and manhood. And we touched on that a little bit, but I think it could potentially be the other way around, that when a woman cheats on a man, it means that not only is it hurting your ego, bro, but she has found another emotional connection, and she's lost that emotional connection with you potentially. So there's a whole other issue with what comes with that, when a woman cheats, because of the emotional state and creature that women are. We got a couple of other comments there too.
Janice Otis said, who is part of our IntellectualRadio.com family Wednesdays at 6 o'clock, the Voices of Change.
Hey, Janice.
The problem is trust has been broken because of that. Even if you try to heal and go forward with the relationship, anytime anything happens with the person, if they stay out too late, you are thinking, are they doing this again? Any trigger will bring it back up again. So what you have to do, first of all, is think if one is planning on staying in the relationship, is rebuilt. That trust, forgiveness, or the desire to forgive does come first. But the rebuilding the trust means everything. That's not something that happens overnight, if at all.
Okay. It looks like we got a little bit of some back and forth too with this conversation about ego. It looks like Dershawn kind of sparked something when it comes to the egos being manhandled. So I think that you all should join in this conversation too as well. Take a look. See, you know what? I got to remember to put things on Do Not Disturb, because people just don't understand.
Don't call Rick when he's in his room, okay? 8 o'clock on Wednesday, he goes in his room and shuts the door at IntellectualRadio.com.
Right. It's just us. But however, Dershawn has sparked a conversation there. Make sure that you tune in and check it out. Participate with us there on Facebook. He seems to have made some women a little upset about.
What did he say?
Well, the comment about it's worse for when a woman cheats on a man. Ego and manhood versus the ego.
It's almost like women are supposed to be built to be cheated on. Like that's part of the norm for a woman and a man. You hurt me, my ego. I don't mean to pick on you. I'm gonna let the people on Facebook do it.
There's not. Listen, you got to fight. You got an argument there on your hands. It looks like the women are ganging up on you too. So be careful. Let me move into something else when it comes to relationships past cheating. I'm wondering, and Miss Wanda, maybe you can help me maybe shed some light on this too. When you have a relationship that is continuing on past cheating, right? what should it look like, or what does it tend to look like when you have kids involved?
Because I think people feel more inclined that they have to work it out for the children and not so much for each other. I don't know if I'm not a big, these views are mine of Wanda B, not of IntellectualRadio.com. Let me say.
Not of Rix Room or Mr. Rick, your host.
Exactly. Okay. I don't believe in staying for the sake of the kids. If the kids are going to watch you be unhappy, I think your children want to see you happy and for an example for our children. So staying in a relationship and being unhappy with the person and accusing them of, I don't know why you did this, and your children are seeing this, you're not really helping them, in my opinion. I think in that instance, sometimes.
Does it matter, or should it matter when it comes to the age of the kids? Because sometimes the little ones, and don't get me wrong, the little ones, they come out the womb with iPads and knowing how to Google. So, potentially they can come out at a young age and really understand.
None of their parents, as much, when I was growing up, most of my friends had two parents. Oh, absolutely. Almost all of them. I didn't know anybody that didn't have both parents. But now these kids know that he goes to his mom. They tell me the child's, he's with his dad every other weekend. This is his dad's weekend. I'm like, oh, okay. I think they may be a little different with that. You want to stay for the children, of course, but you have to really be involved and be there and want to make it work. Be willing to listen to why that person. They have to be able to feel comfortable enough to come to you with why I feel I cheated. And a lot of times that just doesn't happen for the cheater. You are the villain, so you cannot express how you feel, why I did it. Most men, I don't think, get that opportunity to really share. You are wrong and you're a cheater, and they don't get to express. So then how do you heal? If you don't get to say what I was feeling and why I did it, then how can you heal from that?
Which, again, like you said, that's when therapy comes into play, because maybe you get the opportunity in a session to voice what happened there, where your mindset was. And like we touched on last week, sometimes with guys, it's just you're in the heat of the moment, you're in a situation, and it's more physical. You wasn't even thinking with. And for those of you listening, I'm the one on my head, on my neck. So you're not thinking with that head anymore, and it just completely goes out the window. All rationale is out the window, and it's more physical than anything.
Should that be forgiven though? More?
Well, you know what? So here's the thing. I don't know. I don't think one should be forgiven more than the other. An opportunity to maybe understand. But then I wonder, can women truly understand what that emotion is like for a man, and can a man really understand what that feels like for a woman?
I think what makes it so hard is for some women, how they feel is, why be committed if you know that about yourself, that you are prone to just acting on, stay single. Right. That's what a lot of women will say, right? Facebook, look, tell me if you think that.
There's some women.
I'm just saying.
There's some ladies who are commenting. Listen, it's still going on with this. Dershawn, you are really having to defend your point right now, brother. Good
I'm not with him now.
So Dershawn said most women fall for. I'm not going there, Marshawn. Wait, but I want to say it. Let me jump down to Marlena real quick.
He said no, he's not getting in.
Marlena commented first, and I wanted to read that because she said, what is that? Patriarchy has destroyed men and women. Men need to fix it because they created it. We don't need any more excuses. We need change. All right, and you might remember Marlena appeared on the show a couple of weeks ago. The doctoral candidate for psychology, Marlena Prater. She spent some time with us there. But Dershawn's response: most women fall for the thug type or bad boy type, knowing that they have more chance to cheat versus good guy. Oh, there's that age old that good guys aren't the the accepted ones. It's always the thug and the brutal one that wants to be that type of guy, and women want to be with that type of a guy that dude is prone to cheating.
I agree with Marlena when she says society makes it acceptable for men to cheat. I think there is more women who will even say, let your man cheat and let him cheat in peace. I think that's what Tamar Braxton tells.
Get back with Tamar again.
Because a lot of women were like, yeah, Tamar. They were all cheerleading, back kicking their legs up. Go, Tamar. And I was like, what? But I guess I agree to some. They say that if he's going to cheat, why keep bringing it up to him? Let him cheat in peace. And that would be that society saying it's acceptable to cheat mentality, that let him cheat in peace. If you don't plan on leaving, then let him just keep doing it.
I got to hear this song because you brought it up last week and I still haven't found. Y'all send me the song.
It's not a song. It's she's talking at a dinner table with her mother and sisters. And they're talking about cheating, and she's just discussing her views on it. Her mother and all their sisters were like, yes, yes.
I'm sorry. I thought it was a song that she had out that was talking about if you're gonna cheat, let them cheat in peace. But okay, it was a conversation. Got it. I don't keep up with the Bravo TV shows. If you have a scenario or situation that you want to share with us, 708-223-8953. We'd love to hear about it. But seems like you all are having a great conversation on Facebook. If you are on IntellectualRadio.com or YouTube streaming, run on over to Facebook. Check it out. There's a great conversation going on about this topic, cheating after relationships.
Deshaun said, most good guys that are raised with morals and values don't cheat.
Hence all of the comments, because I saw an explosive amount of comments that said, good guys cheat too, sir. I don't
think that being a good guy has anything to do with cheating. I don't think... Good people can do bad things. Okay. That doesn't make you not a good guy. I do think I don't have morals and thing. I just don't. What do you think, Rick?
Well, so good guys cheat too. I will say good guys cheat too. The ladies are right. Deshaun, the ladies are right. Yes, there could be a guy raised with morals, raised with good values. And like we talked about last week, sometimes, the first thing that should cross your mind in that moment or at some point is the person who you are involved with, who you love, who you are, in this relationship with. That person should cross your mind before you continue on. Like at least in an instance. Should cross your mind, and you make the decision at that point. And good guys do it too. So, I do think that necessarily based on the values that a person is raised with, but more so the self-control that an individual should have, and to a meaningful and a relationship where you commit to a person to be your spouse, you have gotten all of that out. Or you have gotten to an understanding of how to navigate through those situations, i.e., in that situation.
I was thinking the same thing, that I think you have to be mindful when you're going down a dangerous path. If you know the alley is dark and the street lights are out and you decide, oh, I'm not worried about getting robbed, but I'm going to walk down this dark alley, and then you get robbed, and you should have maybe thought, well, that's a dark alley. But that's what
I like it. I like that. That was a great analogy.
So I think sometimes you see danger. She's awfully cute. He's awfully cute, and you just keep there. And next thing you poking the bear.
Hey, funny. So thank you for bringing that up when you said she's cute or he's cute. Listen, fellas, for those of you that are in the same gender-loving relationships, brothers, men, stay out of those situations. If you are with somebody and you're in that committed relationship and you all don't have an open relationship, because Deshaun, for men, I think we're a little bit more prone to cheating a little bit easierly. Is that a word? Easierly? We'll take it. Where women, there's a little bit more emotional investment that needs to take place. For men, not so much. Fellas, situations, steer clear of those dark alleys. Stay away from those dark alleys where you can get robbed, especially in Chicago, because carjackings and whatnot taking place. Right, exactly. But stay out of those situations. And speaking of that, last week, Eric, who called in and was talking about his relationship, and he kind of had a question about if in the event it looks different for relationships, specifically with men, and I personally, I don't know if in the event the same gender relationships have to deal with that any more than the different gender relationships. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but I tend to believe that everybody has an opportunity to cheat, and it really does come down to the maturity level of the individuals in the relationship. Good guys, good girls, bad girls, whatever. Everybody has an opportunity. And if in the event your mindset, your maturity is there, and I'd like to say if you really love somebody, say if you really love somebody, but then again, I don't know.
I think you can really love somebody and cheat on them, and that's the sad part about it. I think that's what hurts the most. I think that is what hurts the most, is that people sometimes in that heat of the moment don't think of the consequences. Consequences don't enter their head that I may hurt the person I love. They're in the moment. I was tipsy. I'm just going to act on it. They may never find out. And
you mentioned that last week. First thing, are they going to find out?
Are they going to find out? They may not find out. They don't know. They won't even go that far. They just do it and then think afterwards, oh boy, are they going to find out?
How am I going to cover this up?
How am I going to cover this up? And then, but they still love the person. I think that's what I think for some people, it may really hurt, and why you find it so hard to forgive and move on, because you say, I thought they loved me. And that doesn't mean that they didn't, but that hurt.
I was just going to ask. So, I mean, and I'm sure it does hurt. I know it hurts, but does that really mean that the person didn't love you? Does it mean that person has any less love for you, male or female? Is they were in a situation that they lost control?
I think it's a really crappy way of showing it.
Right.
I think you can love somebody and truly love them and not show them love well. That's not a good way of showing love.
Right. That's not a good way of showing love. But that doesn't mean that they don't love them.
They love them. I think most percentage of the time they actually love that person, but sometimes really don't have the skill set. Either sometimes it could be that they saw their parents cheating, or they don't even know that that's not the proper way to love someone.
Mm. So, and you bring up a great point, the proper way. I mean, because, cheaters, and this was, somebody brought this up to my attention, and it made sense. Cheaters are, cheaters are manipulators. So as an offender, so when cheaters are in a situation of trying to build their relationship, and the person that they're in a relationship, they don't really know. This person said, one of my colleagues and friends at work, are manipulators. For example, they'll try to pick a fight just to have a reason to cheat. Right? Like they'll nitpick at something just because, oh, well, see, this is what happened, and I went out and cheated, and this gives me an excuse because this happened. But in all actuality, that person nitpicked, found an argument to manipulate the situation so that it was okay in their mind to justify going out to cheat.
And that person is the one you leave.
Right.
In my opinion, that person can't be healed, because they are not in the mentality that I hurt you and I plan on not doing it again. They plan on finding the good excuse that works to prove why I did it. And that person has no intention of fixing this. Mm-hmm. And so those are the relationships that you say, I'm going to love myself more than I love you, because that's not the person who wants to heal. They don't come up with excuses to why I cheated or pick fights. Once you find out and they're doing that, they want to keep doing it, and they're trying to make you be all right with it. And it's time to move on. Amy, I don't want to
go ahead.
Botch your last name, so I'm not going to say it. She said
Chaudhry.
Chaudhry, thank you. You may love and not respect, and that definitely is not respectful. Cheating is not respectful.
Yes. Yeah, cheating is disrespectful, but good point. You may love, but not respect. And I love how she put it in caps, too.
They're capping it up over here in Facebook. I don't know what's happening, but Dershawn has the latest capping.
Terminology for what that is. Capping.
They are everything. Is I did not cheat because I didn't have to. Okay, Shelby.
Listen, wait, was Shelby going up?
Shelby's, I think if that's what caps mean, because she went back lower, he went back lowercase on him. So
I didn't see that comment there. What did Shelby say?
I didn't have to. My partner didn't have to. We committed to being what we needed to be for each other. I can be the hood boy or lodge in the executive suite. I can go on. Right. I see you can go on, Shelby, and I agree with you. I think that's the key to not being cheated on. I don't have the answer. So please, again, this is the opinions of Wanda B and Rick in Rix Room at IntellectualRadio.com, that one thing to do is try to be the counselor, the therapist, the how was your day, the side chick, the side boy, the side nigger, whatever. Can we say that on IntellectualRadio.com? I did it. I'm sorry.
Nope.
I cannot.
Right.
The side,
the
side man,
right?
Whatever you're gonna be, you have to be that for your spouse. You have to try to be that everything, and you can't be everything for everybody. So if you can't be and that person still cheats, then you need to find the person who you are, and when you give everything, they will respect that.
Right. Well, when we talk about you
had to use your glasses.
I just want to look cute every now and then.
Intelligence on IntellectualRadio.com.
Because it's intellectual radio, so I want to look intelligent.
Too.
Let me put my glasses on and read some things just because. Listen, again, my stylist told me there's a couple of things I had to make sure I was looking good tonight. So shout out to Mr. Al Young to make sure I was looking.
Especially if you're gonna tie his name to your look, you gotta pull it off.
Right, exactly. So make sure I got everything covered, But every now and then, because trying to read with the glasses, I try not to be. In the conversation about cheaters being manipulators, right? We just talked about picking a fight just to have a reason to cheat, but now there are some of those out there, some of those individuals who cheat, who will do something on the other end of it. They'll start buying expensive gifts to defer the accuser, right? So they'll in fact the extreme was in the conversation that I was having with my colleague when brought up both sides of this. First was the picking of the fight, but the second one was buying a ring and okay, we'll get married, or go ahead and get this person his spouse pregnant because he's been asking for a baby, and things like that. Like, so finding ways to appease the individual that's being cheated on.
It's not good.
We know it's not good, but that's what
does
some
it work?
of the
maybe that helps them. I think with Kobe Bryant that worked with his wife. He would get a bigger ring, and she said, "I forgive you." So if that works for you, her love language is gifts. Buy her gifts. New Range Rover, and I'm sorry.
Shout out for the love languages. Yes. Listen, we might have to do a show about love languages because that's a whole thing too. And cheating is not on love languages.
That's not one of the love languages. Not at all.
That's not one of the love languages. Excuse me. But so when we talk about cheaters being manipulators, on one end, they're picking fights, but on the other end, I think that, and this could go in same gender relationships as well as different gender relationships. When you have the person who is cheating, the person on the other end that's doing the appeasing, that's doing I'm going to find ways to make you feel good about the fact that we've covered this and we're moving past this, but they keep doing it. At what point do you say, okay, all right, I need to step out of this? From this, I see what you're doing and it needs to stop, or I need to get away from it.
Good. Relationships should feel good. And when you don't feel good in this relationship, you don't see that all your hard work to make it right is working.
When you don't feel good, because relationships should feel good. That's when relationships should feel good. Take notes, y'all. Take notes. I'm pointing to all y'all paying attention. That's viewing.
They're fighting on Facebook.
Wanda B. Wait, take a moment not to make sure that you heard what Wanda B said. Wanda B said relationships should feel good. Absolutely right. If I'm gonna spend and invest my life in you. Now, should you feel good at every moment? Maybe not. But as a whole, relationships should feel good.
And if you're spending the majority of your time not happy, not feeling good in this relationship, why? Why are you in it? The longevity shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter whether it was 2 years, 5 years. You should be happy. Khadijah Williams said, cheating is an option. There's no excuse that can justify cheating, and neither does an excuse make it okay. Good guy or bad guy, if he doesn't respect you, he'll cheat.
Shout out to Khadijah, making sure that she commented and said hello and gave her 2 cents here on live. I've been trying to get Khadijah to pay attention to this show, so I'm glad you got a chance, Khadijah. Thank you for sharing, and she's absolutely right. But again, it goes back to the disrespect, right, of cheating. But I think that for me, in the past have been, let's work through it. Let's find a way to move forward. Let's move past. Let's progress. If we can do it with anything else could potentially be harmful, if we can do it through do it through alcoholism, if we can do it through abusiveness, if we can do it through gambling, whatever it is, if you can do it through all of those other things that could potentially be harmful to you, you can do it through cheating. If your spouse, if it's a one-time thing.
Where's he going with this? I thought that you were promoting all these other ways.
No.
You're
I'm saying
cheating is just like any other thing.
Anything else
that
if
you do harmful.
If you can work through anything else, relationships should be meaningful. Relationships should feel good, but relationships are about, a connection that you have. And if in the event that connection is something and means something, then work past. I encourage you to work through those things that potentially are just as harmful as.
I agree.
If it's a one-time thing.
Or 2 times.
Maybe 3. But after that, we should reevaluate. So, man, listen, y'all keep the conversation going on Facebook. It looks like there's some great viewpoints and caps being shared. We unfortunately have to go ahead and make way for for the show. Miss Dana Michelle coming up next to take y'all on into the 9 o'clock hour with her topic of conversations. Always a good one. So make sure you check it out here at IntellectualRadio.com and iHeartRadio station. Miss Wanda B, thank you so much for hanging out in the room.
Thank you so much. I'm going to come to the room on Facebook and Rix Room and chime in with you guys. You're all capping. I'm joining in.
Right. It's a lot going on, so make sure you do. Also, again, a couple of our sponsors, check out the post so that you can check out all of the holiday specials that they have going on. Mom Online, you all have heard about it before. MOMONLINE.US. They have, I think the promotion for them actually just ended, but maybe check them out. They might be able to extend it just for you. If you are celebrating Kwanzaa, again, happy Kwanzaa to you. Just in case, if you happen to want to be a guest co-host here and hang out with me in the room, if you want to sponsor a show, or if you have show topics or ideas, give me an email. Shoot an email over to rixroom2@gmail.com. That's RIXROOM, the number 2 @gmail.com. Shout out to all of our sponsors out there making Rix Room possible. We appreciate you. Thanks again to Mr. Al Young, making sure brother looking good, fly, ready for New Year's Eve. Check out Al Young, BL, and Afina Shakur, A Shakur Boutique for her sponsor, for her promotions that she has for New Year's Eve as well. Have a happy 2018. Happy New Year to all of you. Thanks for hanging out with me in the room this evening. Have a wonderful night. Stay warm. Get out.